There is an ancient truth that has been whispered through traditions, passed down through mystics, and confirmed quietly by the discoveries of modern science. It is the truth that your very energy, the invisible field surrounding you, is not just reflecting your life, it is creating it. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you repeat, every belief you hold close, is not locked inside your mind. It radiates outward, becoming a signal that life responds to in subtle but undeniable ways. And whether you are aware of it or not, that signal is already broadcasting your future. Think for a moment about the times you felt caught in a cycle you could not escape. The same patterns repeating, the same struggles resurfacing, as though life was echoing the same story back to you again and again. This is not coincidence. It is resonance. When your inner frequency remains unchanged, the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. You may long for freedom, love, abundance, or purpose. But if your energy continues to broadcast the vibration of fear, doubt, or lack, then life can only give you more of what you already are. And yet there is another possibility, one that you have already glimpsed in fleeting moments. Think of the times when you felt fully alive, aligned, and in flow. Perhaps you woke up one morning and felt inexplicably light, and the whole day unfolded with grace. Doors opened, conversations flowed, and opportunities seemed to find you without effort. In those moments, you were broadcasting something different, something higher, something magnetic, and reality had no choice but to rearrange itself around you. The question, then, is not whether you are manifesting your future, but what future you are manifesting unconsciously. Are you broadcasting the story of the old self, one bound by limitations, by the past, by conditioned fear? Or are you stepping into the frequency of the new self, a version of you that already exists in potential, waiting for your alignment? This contrast between who you have been and who you are becoming is the very heartbeat of transformation. Imagine, for a moment, a radio tower standing tall in the middle of a city. The tower does not question whether it is sending a signal, it simply broadcasts endlessly, and all those tuned to its frequency receive the message. Your energy field works in the very same way. Every second of your life, you are sending out a frequency, through your thoughts, your emotions, your state of being. And just like a radio receiver, the world around you is tuning in and sending back experiences that match. You are not waiting for life to happen. You are not powerless in the face of destiny. You are broadcasting right now the seeds of the life you are going to live. This realization can feel both liberating and confronting. Liberating, because it means you are not a victim of random chance. Confronting, because it means the patterns you have lived so far are the reflection of what you have been unconsciously sending out. But rather than falling into guilt or self-blame, see this truth as an invitation. If your energy has been writing your story all along, then the moment you begin to shift that energy, you begin to shift the story. This is not about forcing or controlling life. It is about alignment. It is about tuning the instrument of your being so that it resonates with the reality you truly want to step into. The seekers of wisdom, the mystics of the past, understood this. They spoke of vibration, of resonance, of aligning the inner temple before the outer world could change. And today, as science explores the mysteries of quantum physics and energy fields, we find ourselves circling back to the same truth. Reality is not solid and fixed. It is responsive. It bends and flows according to the frequency you broadcast. Your future is not waiting for you in some distant time. It is being built right now by the energy you embody. And perhaps, if you quiet your mind for a moment, you can feel it. You can sense the subtle broadcast of your own being. Notice the quality of your thoughts right now. Notice the weight or lightness of your emotions. Notice whether your heart feels contracted in fear or expanded in possibility. This right here is the signal shaping the days and months ahead, and the more you become conscious of it, the more power you hold to shift it. So as we journey deeper in this exploration together, I invite you to see your life not as a chain of random events, but as a mirror of your inner state. I invite you to step beyond the old self, who repeated the same cycles, and into the new self who dares to embody alignment. Your energy field is already broadcasting your future. The question is, will you choose to keep repeating the past, or will you tune yourself to the frequency of the reality you truly desire? The power has always been within you, waiting to be remembered. And this is where the true shift begins. Every human being carries an invisible presence. You feel it when someone enters a room before they even speak. You sense it when a person walks by, and you instinctively know whether they are open and warm or guarded and closed. This is not imagination. It is the energy field that surrounds every living being, a subtle yet powerful broadcast that is constantly communicating with life itself. Your thoughts may seem private, your emotions invisible, but in truth they are frequencies vibrating through your entire body and radiating outward into the space around you. This broadcast, whether conscious or unconscious, becomes the magnetic field that shapes the quality of your reality. What you attract, what repeats, and even what resists you, is not random. It is the direct reflection of your inner signal. Think of a person who is weighed down by worry. They wake up already anticipating problems, their body tense, their mind racing. Everywhere they go, they seem to encounter obstacles. The traffic is heavy, people respond coldly, unexpected bills appear. They may call this bad luck, but what they don't see is that their energy field is vibrating with stress and fear, and the world around them is simply echoing it back. The invisible becomes visible, the inner becomes outer. Now contrast that with someone who is grounded in trust. They may not have everything figured out, but they carry a lightness, a quiet assurance. Their energy field radiates openness, and as they move through life, things seem to align. Strangers smile at them, synchronicities unfold, doors open where walls once stood. The difference between the two is not chance, it is resonance. One is broadcasting survival, the other is broadcasting possibility. Science is beginning to glimpse this truth as well. Neuroscience tells us that repeated thoughts create neural pathways, grooves in the brain that shape perception. When these thoughts are charged with strong emotions, they become even more powerful, conditioning the body into a state of expectation. And once expectation is set, the subconscious mind begins to scan the environment for confirmation. This is why negative cycles feel so inescapable. The body has become addicted to familiar emotions, and the energy field broadcasts them on repeat, pulling experiences into the present that match the old frequency. But just as this cycle can keep you stuck, it can also set you free. Because the moment you become aware of the broadcast you are sending, you gain the power to shift it. You are not bound by the old signal unless you keep feeding it. The energy field responds to conscious intention, to deliberate shifts in thought, to the brave choice of embodying emotions that align with the future you wish to live. Imagine your energy field as a song. Some people are unconsciously playing the same melancholy tune over and over, wondering why life feels heavy. Others are daring to rewrite their melody, allowing joy, gratitude, and possibility to enter the composition. The world around you dances to the song you play, whether you are aware of it or not. And the beauty of this truth is that you can change the song at any time. But here is where most people get caught. They try to change their life while still broadcasting the old signal. They say they want abundance, but they continue to think thoughts of lack. They dream of love, but their energy field is contracted in fear of rejection. They long for freedom, but their emotions are saturated with doubt. Life listens not to your words, but to your vibration. You cannot trick the universe with empty affirmations spoken from a state of disbelief. The field broadcasts what you feel, not what you wish. This is why inner work matters. This is why meditation, visualization, and emotional mastery are not luxuries, but necessities for transformation. Each practice is a way of tuning your energy field, shifting the broadcast from the static of fear to the harmony of alignment. When you visualize a reality and feel it as though it is already here, your energy field begins to vibrate with that frequency. And once it does, reality itself bends to meet it. Think of the energy field as a bridge between the invisible and the visible. On one side are your inner states, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs. On the other side is your outer reality, your relationships, your opportunities, your circumstances. The field is the messenger between the two. Change what you carry on the inside, and the bridge carries that signal outward, shaping what you encounter on the outside. This is not mystical fantasy. It is the law of resonance in action. Perhaps you have noticed this in your own life. The days when you were consumed by anger, everything seemed to irritate you. The moments when you felt grateful, even the simplest details, a bird in the sky, a stranger's kindness, felt like blessings. The field was broadcasting your state, and life was responding with matching experiences. What you perceive as coincidence is in truth coherence. Your energy attracts its reflection. This is why repeating old patterns feels so exhausting. It is not that life is against you, it is that your field has been programmed, often since childhood, to broadcast the same vibration again and again. If you were taught to fear scarcity, you may continue to broadcast lack. If you internalized unworthiness, you may unconsciously repel love. The field does not judge, it simply amplifies what you are carrying. But once you awaken to this, you hold the key to transformation. And here is the deeper truth. Your future is not waiting for you in some distant horizon. It is being shaped right now, in the frequencies you are sending out in this very moment. If you continue to broadcast the same doubts, fears, and limitations, then tomorrow will be a reflection of yesterday. But if you begin, even in small ways, to shift the broadcast, to choose thoughts of possibility, to embody emotions of trust, to align your heart with gratitude, then tomorrow begins to take on a different shape. The invisible signal becomes the architect of a new reality. So when you ask why your life looks the way it does, turn first to your energy field. Ask yourself, what am I broadcasting? What am I radiating into the unseen? For it is not the outer world that dictates your inner state, it is your inner state that sculpts the outer world. The field is already speaking on your behalf. The question is, what story is it telling? There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize that what has kept them trapped was never the outside world, but the inner broadcast that was looping like a record on repeat. The old self, the one that was formed through years of conditioning, pain, and belief, has been sending out the same frequencies day after day. And as long as that old broadcast remains unchanged, the external world will continue to echo it back. The first step toward true transformation, then, is not to fight with external circumstances, but to recognize and break free from the invisible patterns you have been transmitting. For many people, this recognition comes through frustration. They notice the same relationships ending in similar ways, the same financial struggles resurfacing no matter how much effort they put forth, the same feelings of emptiness arising even when achievements are reached. This is the signal of the old broadcast. It is the past replaying itself under the illusion of the present, and unless it is disrupted, it will quietly shape the future in its own image. But here is the liberating truth. The old broadcast only has power as long as it remains unconscious. Once you bring it into the light of awareness, you begin to loosen its grip. Awareness acts like a frequency disruptor. The moment you catch yourself repeating a negative thought loop, "I'm not enough. It never works out for me. Life is unfair," you are no longer blindly transmitting that frequency. You have stepped outside of it enough to observe it, and observation is the seed of freedom. Imagine a person standing inside a room with the same song playing endlessly on repeat. If they do not realize that the song comes from a speaker, they may assume it is simply the nature of the room. But once they see the speaker, they have the choice to change the track. This is exactly what happens when you recognize the old broadcast of your energy field. The song of lack, fear, and limitation has been playing so long that you mistook it for reality itself. But in truth, it is just a program, and programs can be rewritten. To break free, you must be willing to step into discomfort, because the old broadcast is familiar, and familiarity often feels safer than freedom. The body becomes addicted to the chemical states produced by repetitive emotions. Stress, anger, sadness. These may not feel good, but they feel known. And the subconscious prefers the known over the unknown, even when the unknown holds freedom. This is why change feels hard at first. It is not because transformation is impossible, but because the body is clinging to the old frequency like a comfort zone. The way through is conscious interruption. Every time you catch the old signal playing, you create a pause. In that pause, you insert a new choice, a different thought, a different breath, a different perspective. At first, the old broadcast may feel louder, overwhelming, pulling you back into familiar patterns. But with repetition, the new choices begin to take root, and slowly, the volume of the old signal fades. What was once a dominant vibration becomes background noise, until eventually it dissolves entirely. Consider the thought, "I am always struggling." For years, this belief might have lived in your subconscious, quietly broadcasting scarcity. Breaking free begins when you notice the thought arise and interrupt it. "No, I am learning to create ease." At first, this may feel false, even forced. But what matters is not perfection, it is persistence. Each interruption weakens the old frequency and strengthens the new. Over time, the body and mind begin to align with the new broadcast, and reality responds accordingly. This is why practices such as affirmations, journaling, or meditation can feel so powerful when done consistently. They are not magic spells, they are tools to reprogram the broadcast. Each time you sit in silence and witness your thoughts, you are disentangling from the old frequency. Each time you write a new belief on paper, you are carving a new groove in your mind. Each time you visualize yourself living in abundance, love, or freedom, you are sending out a new vibration that your field begins to embody. These small acts accumulate, and eventually the old broadcast collapses under the weight of your new alignment. But breaking free is not only about shifting thoughts, it is about releasing the emotional signatures tied to the past. Many people live trapped not because of what they think, but because of what they feel. A heartbreak from years ago may still echo in the body, broadcasting unworthiness. A betrayal may still radiate as distrust. A childhood wound may still vibrate as fear of rejection. The energy field remembers until you choose to release. And this release requires courage, because it asks you to sit with the old emotions, to allow them to surface without running, to breathe through them until they no longer hold power. When you do this, when you feel an old wound and allow it to dissolve, you free your field from the static of the past. The broadcast becomes clearer, lighter, more expansive. You are no longer carrying yesterday into tomorrow. You are creating space for the future self to emerge. This is why healing is not separate from manifestation. It is manifestation. Every old emotion released is a frequency lifted. Every belief rewritten is a vibration refined. Every act of forgiveness is a clearing of the signal. Breaking free also means choosing courage over comfort. The old self will always whisper that it is safer to stay the same, to repeat the broadcast you already know. But the future you long for cannot arrive on the same frequency as the past. To embody abundance, you must dare to think differently, to feel differently, to act differently. This means stepping into the unknown with faith, trusting that the universe will meet you on the new frequency. And though the mind may resist, the field never lies. Once you broadcast the vibration of your new self, life begins to align with it. And so breaking free from the old broadcast is not a single event but a process. It is the daily choice to interrupt the old, to reprogram the new, to release what has been carried, and to step into alignment again and again. Each small shift compounds, and eventually the momentum turns, the old self dissolves, the new self emerges, and the energy field radiates a signal so clear and magnetic that reality cannot help but reshape itself around you. This is the moment when you realize you were never truly trapped. The chains were made of frequencies, and frequencies can be tuned. The past was never holding you, only the broadcast of the past was. And the moment you choose to break free, to disrupt the cycle, to rewrite the song, you open the doorway into a future that has been waiting for you all along. Once you begin to break free from the old broadcast, the next step is to consciously choose what you will transmit instead. This is where the journey deepens, because it is no longer about escaping the past, it is about embodying the future. And the truth is, your future self is not something you will eventually become. It is a frequency you can align with right now. Every choice you make, every thought you hold, every emotion you embody, can either keep you bound to the vibration of who you were, or tune you into the vibration of who you are becoming. The mind often tells us that change takes time, that we must wait for life to improve before we can feel different. But the energy field does not operate by time, it operates by resonance. You do not have to wait for external evidence before you shift your vibration. The moment you feel the emotion of your desired future, the moment you act in alignment with it, you are already broadcasting it into reality. The universe does not respond to your timeline, it responds to your frequency. Think of someone who desires abundance. If they continue to see themselves as lacking, if they wait for money to arrive before they feel secure, their field will keep transmitting scarcity. But the one who dares to feel abundant now, who walks with the posture of trust, who gives thanks for what they already have, begins to vibrate with wealth before it has physically arrived. And because their energy field is broadcasting abundance, life begins to reflect it back in opportunities, synchronicities, and unexpected blessings. The future self becomes the present signal, and the present signal reshapes the future. This is the art of embodiment, living as though the reality you desire is already true. It does not mean pretending or denying what is happening in your current life. It means choosing to align your inner state with the version of yourself that already holds the reality you are seeking. If your future self is confident, how would they walk into a room? If your future self is loved, how would they speak to others? If your future self is free, how would they move through the day? When you begin to act, think, and feel from that place now, you collapse the gap between who you are and who you wish to be. There is immense power in emotional rehearsal. Close your eyes and imagine, with as much detail as possible, a scene from the future you long to live. See yourself in the home you desire, with the people you love, in the career or purpose that fulfills you. But do not just imagine it, feel it. Allow your body to experience the emotions of that reality as though it were happening now. The brain does not distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and physical ones. The moment you feel the joy, the freedom, the love of that scene, your energy field begins to broadcast it. And when you broadcast it, reality begins to align with it. Gratitude is one of the most direct pathways into embodiment. When you give thanks for a reality before it has physically arrived, you are signaling to the universe that it is already yours. Gratitude lifts the vibration of the heart, expands the field, and draws coherence between the mind and body. Every time you sit in gratitude for your desired future, you are anchoring yourself in that frequency. You are telling life, "This is who I am now." And life listens. Daily rituals help anchor this embodiment. It could be as simple as beginning the day with 5 minutes of visualization, or writing affirmations that align with your future self. It could be walking with awareness, repeating silently, "I am already who I seek to become." These small, consistent acts tune the field over time, shifting the broadcast until it naturally reflects the vibration of your desired reality. And the more consistent you are, the stronger the broadcast becomes, until the old signal is no longer even an option. Yet embodiment also requires surrender. It is not about forcing outcomes or obsessing over when the future will arrive. It is about trusting that once you have aligned your energy field, the unfolding will happen in the right way at the right time. Impatience is a signal of lack. It broadcasts doubt. Surrender, on the other hand, is a signal of trust. It broadcasts alignment. When you let go of the need to control and instead focus on embodying the frequency of your desired future, you invite reality to meet you in the most effortless ways. There will be moments when the old self tries to pull you back. Doubt may creep in, or external circumstances may not immediately reflect the changes you feel inside. But remember, the outer world is often the last to catch up. The energy field shifts first. The physical reality follows. Think of it as planting a seed. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You water it, you trust it, and eventually it breaks through the soil. In the same way, you hold the vibration of your future self consistently, and life eventually mirrors it back. The most important realization is this: you are not waiting for the future to happen. You are broadcasting it now. Every time you choose a thought that aligns with your vision, every time you feel gratitude for what is on its way, every time you act as though you are already that version of yourself, you are living the future in the present. And as you do, the invisible becomes visible, the imagined becomes tangible, and the dream becomes reality. So ask yourself, in this moment, what is my field broadcasting? If I were truly my future self, how would I think, feel, and act today? And then, take even the smallest step in that direction, because the future is not a destination you are traveling toward, it is a frequency you are tuning into. And the moment you embody it, you realize that it was never separate from you. It was always here, waiting for you to align. And so we arrive at the heart of it all. Your energy field is not a passive cloud floating around you. It is the active scriptwriter of your life. Every moment, it is broadcasting a signal, and life is listening. The patterns you have lived were not punishment, nor were they random chance. They were simply the reflection of the frequency you carried. And now, with awareness, you hold the power to change the story. Imagine for a moment that every step you take leaves behind a ripple, like waves moving outward across water. Those ripples are the frequencies of your thoughts, your emotions, your state of being. They travel into the field, and eventually they return to you in the form of experiences, opportunities, and encounters. When you understand this, you no longer wait for life to change before you shift, and then life rearranges itself around you. This is what it means to walk as your broadcast. The old self, with its cycles of fear and limitation, may try to whisper in your ear. It may tell you that you are not ready, that nothing ever changes, that freedom is far away. But you now know that those whispers are just echoes of the old signal. They are not the truth of who you are. The truth is that within you already lives the frequency of love, abundance, creativity, and freedom, and each time you choose to embody it, even for a moment, you strengthen it. This journey is not about perfection. It is not about never feeling doubt or never slipping into old emotions. It is about becoming conscious. It is about noticing when you are broadcasting the past, and then gently, courageously choosing again. Every time you make that choice, you shift your vibration. Every time you shift your vibration, you reshape your future. So as you leave this space of reflection and return to the rhythm of your daily life, carry this awareness with you. Your energy is already writing tomorrow. Walk with the posture of your future self. Speak with the voice of the reality you desire. Feel gratitude not only for what has come, but for what is on its way. Broadcast love where there was fear, trust where there was doubt, expansion where there was contraction. Because your life is not waiting to begin someday in the distance. It is unfolding now, in every breath, in every thought, in every vibration you send. And the more you align with the highest version of yourself, the more the field around you becomes a beacon calling forth experiences, people, and opportunities that match your new broadcast. You are the sender, and you are also the receiver. The story of your future is already alive within you. The only question that remains is, will you choose to walk as the broadcast of your highest self here and now? If you do, life will not hesitate to meet you there. The signal is already alive. All that is left is for you to embody it,